Good evening, Americans. Good evening, Patriots. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to talk, as far as like tip to make sure you're staying sane and staying good. Make sure you're eating regular meals. Try to eat at regular meal times. This is something I'm horrible with, and thank God my wife stops me and makes me eat. Otherwise, I don't know that I would end up at the end of the day having eaten anything. And when you're doing that, make sure that you're spending some time with family or friends, something, just get some connection, turn everything off for a little bit and just spend that time. So, I was reminded of this, by somebody yesterday, and, I am so thankful for her that she did remind me of that. Just because, we're working, 22 hour days sometimes. So making sure this thing is unbelievably successful. So, that's the tip of the day. Make sure you just, unplug, spend some time with family, eat regular meals with them. Set a time. This is my time to eat, with the family, spend family time, and, just unplug from everything during that. So, let's see. We're going to cover, a couple of really cool developments that are going on. The lady I was just talking about, she has been a grassroots civil rights fighter for a long time, very involved. She's going to be helping out with New York, but yesterday she made a connection for me and connected me up with somebody who is going to change what we're doing and just 10x our success with this thing. So. His name is Mark Merkel, and he's a longtime constitutional activist and grassroots supporter himself. I started looking into him a little bit the other day. I read an article; it was a hit piece on him. But he's been in this fight for a long time, and only trying to do good things from what I found. And he offered to let us utilize the website that they had set up in order to give us a home off of Facebook so that we were protected as we continue to grow. We won't be shut down by Facebook. We can still continue moving. The name of that website is, actually, I've got it right here. It's a pretty cool, you've probably seen something about this on Facebook if you've just been on there for a little bit. It's OpenTheStatescom. So Janae has been working diligently to make sure that we have events set up for every single state on there. We're going to add a link to that onto our website. They put us on the May 1st as the national event that's going on, and we're going to have links that go back and forth so that people that find that website can find our event, and people who find our website can find information off of theirs. And it is going to be huge for that, and it will protect us off of Facebook. So push the AmericanRevolution2.org website out there so that people can stay connected and hook up. I'm going to be doing a lot of revamping of the states page today, tonight after this, making it look prettier and cohesive there. It was thrown up, quickly because we were under the gun to get it up there by a gentleman from mymilitia.com, and so thankful for him for his help there. Huge help with that. So that's one huge development. They're actually, from what I understand, they're doing some advertising to get the voice out. They're not organizing anything themselves. They're just giving a place for organizers to go and help coordinate things. When I spoke to him, I expressed what our concerns were, that we are responsible Americans for the Constitution. And he was in 100% agreement with that. He was very happy with that message. So we want to make sure that stays the case. So make sure you're spreading that word. We're going to be doing that. Other couple big developments. A woman reached out to me, Christy McLaughlin, and she tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time is doing a national online protest. And she wanted me to be a speaker talking about our group on there. For a few minutes. There are a few other speakers that are going to be involved in that. So a little bit more exposure and, a good way to connect up with other like-minded people at that time. So I'm going to throw up a link to that here in a little bit, but I wanted to let you all know, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have time to be online and check this out, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very cool event. Very informative from different speakers, different guests that are talking. Finally, I had been reaching out to lots of people, to try to make sure we get the word out for this. One of the ones I got a hold of, his name is Jon Rappaport. A friend of mine watches his stuff religiously, really into him. He's an investigative journalist. He's been in and covering, specifically like virus stuff and government's reactions to that and how they cover it since like the HIV virus. And he reached back to me and, sent him some information. He's going to help forward the word. So anybody who likes him, and even if you don't, check him out, give him a like on his page, visit his website, check out his stuff. So we want to make sure that we're returning the favor here, right, to people that are helping us make this happen. So that's the amazing news. I was originally thinking, we're going to be in like the 100,000 range per event. When I was talking to this lady, I'm only not mentioning her name just because I didn't clear it with her to throw her name out there. I don't think she would have a problem with it, but she was instrumental in one of the marches that happened, or one of the gatherings that happened that involved 7 million people all at once. And when I mentioned that I thought we were going to have about 100,000 per state, it'd be like a 5 million person showing, she said, "Honey, you're thinking way too small." So I don't know how big this thing's going to get, but we are going to make sure that we send an incredible message back to government that we, the people, will not stand for tyranny ever again. So, come October when they're like, "Oh yeah, second wave, this is happening again," we don't end up on lockdowns again, because that is not okay. That can never happen again. Their job is to work within the guidelines of the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, the state constitution, and state laws. And many governors have violated their state laws, their state constitutions, but all of them have violated the U.S. Constitution that did these lockdown orders. So that's where we're at on that. We're going to send a message that will be heard for 100 years. I guarantee it. We just want to make sure that message is good. So again, peaceful, masks, 6 foot distancing. Those are the keys, right, guys? This is something interesting that popped up. I noticed yesterday. Somebody specifically local to here was talking about trying to organize an anti-protest protest, which is funny because their message is that you should be sheltering in, and I just find the hypocrisy hilarious. You're going to violate the shelter in to protest against us in order to prove that we should be sheltering in. That make any sense? It's a bit like saying that a constitutionalist, somebody who believes in the Constitution, is right-wing. The clear and obvious lies and hidden messages can be uncovered rather easily, what you're saying is Democrats don't believe in the Constitution? I don't think that's the case. I think most Democrats do, and if they knew that's what their party thought of them, I don't think they would be in the party. Those are clear things that we need to continue to point out to people. This is a nonpartisan issue. This is a peaceful stand for everyone's civil liberties, everyone's rights. We're not just standing up for our own. We're standing up for the people who disagree with us. I have a good friend who, I've been in business projects with before, And he doesn't agree with, coming out and doing this. He takes the virus a little more seriously, and that's fine. We're still friends. We still support each other in everything we do. And that's what America is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be able to have a civil discussion about a disagreement of beliefs or thoughts. And without that discourse, without that discussion, how do we ever develop or grow as a people? And to say that we can't have that and we have to hate the other side, even from us. Even to say that we hate the other side is going too far. We can't hate them. We have to realize that they may not even know what the extreme beliefs of some of the radicals in their side believe. And that's the funny thing. This gets twisted up all the time. The extreme left is communism and socialism. That is the answer on the extreme over there. The extreme right, if you could do it, if you could make an extreme, would be anarchy. But that's not even what we're for. Like, we want government to run things. We don't want anarchy. No, I don't think any right-wing person does. But we do want limits and we want freedoms. That is what we are due per the Constitution of the United States, per state constitutions, and per state laws. So we need a return to that belief. And we need to remind, especially the far left, that you're in the wrong country. If that's what you want, go to a country that already has it and see how much you like it then. Come on back when you're done, because you will be coming back and you will be begging to come back. And we'll welcome you. But you either get on board with what our country is about, or you need to go somewhere that has the beliefs that you have. So we are not a democracy, So I wanted to talk about that. And then the other thing, guys, we still need help in every single state. Some of the connections that have happened yesterday and today are going to just exponentially grow this thing. We have already seen exponential growth. The message is just going to be explosive, especially next week. I expect lots of big names to be talking about this come next week. This will be blasted everywhere. So in the meantime, if you can help or volunteer in any way, please, reach out to Justin. He is organizing everybody into what they can handle, what they want to do, so that everybody's best utilized for what they can do. We still need some leaders. I think that's going to go away very quickly with some of these connections that we're making right now. And on a kind of final note, I want to reiterate this again and again and again, and make sure we're all on the same page and we're all spreading the same message. We need to stay clear to the message. And the way we do that is three things. We keep it peaceful. We wear the masks, right? And we practice the 6-foot social distancing. Our only concern is the constitutional infringements that have taken place, okay? That is it. All right, that's the end of my spiel for today. I'm going to hit the comments real quick and just make sure we don't have any questions here. Make sure anything didn't get, or any questions anybody has gets answered. Let's see. Brenda Ludwig, if our state is opening back up by May 1st, is there a need for a protest? Yes. So this is not a state protest. This is a national protest. We as United States citizens, that's what we're showing. Americans are banding together to say this is not okay anywhere, anytime, ever again. So even though your state may be fully open, if it is, most states are not going to be fully open. Most will be on the slow path to opening up come May 1st. But if for some reason your state is fully open, still show up, still support the other states. We want this thing, like if we had 20, 30 million people across the nation show up and say this can never ever happen again, it has to be heard at every level. They cannot ignore that. And that is really what we're about here is getting that message across. So that is my message. Even if for some reason Pritzker, I doubt this will happen, but Pritzker opens up, I'm still showing up on May 1st. So that's how that goes. Corey said, just found out Cash Jackson is part of our groups. Amazing man and true patriot. I am not familiar, unfortunately, but yes, if he is, awesome. Thank you, Cash. Timmy, Mississippi, 12 noon at the Capitol building, May 1st. Come early, Jackson, Mississippi. Jessica Sheldon, yes, one collective voice. Absolutely, that is the deal. Matthew Winnan, this is getting ridiculous. They canceled Rehoboth Beach July 4th fireworks. I know, that was one of my favorite memes. It was what was it? Jim Carrey from the Dumb and Dumber thing. And it said, he's, sticking his head out of the limo, I think. And he said, or the quote on the side was, I wonder if we'll have our freedom for Independence Day. I thought that was hilarious. And, we damn well better. That's what this is about. Timmy Downs, when you need, spread the word of the rally close to you. Give your voice of your rights, freedom, and choice May 1st. Yeah, spread the word as much as you can. We are starting to send out emails. Janae is working on that so we can get email out to everybody covering what, just a brief message, get connected up. Kind of a thank you thing, too, for anybody that submitted an email address. And share that email. This email chain the hell out of that thing. If you don't send this to 10 people in the next 5 minutes, you'll have bad luck for 7 years. Whatever. Somebody obviously didn't do that for this to have happened. So make sure you do it next time. Jonathan, yeah, make sure you share our main page and especially the website. We're going to keep the Facebook links up on the webpage as long as they last. We may establish new ones, but we are going to be also pushing that OpenTheStatescom website. So, let's see. Yeah, Monica Squires. It makes zero sense to counter protest. You like literally don't even know what you're protesting, and it shows the ridiculousness of your message when you do. Yeah, it's stupid. Justin, no divisional lines. We're all Americans in the end. Absolutely. There is no right and left. Somebody sent me this meme. I thought it was beautiful. It showed a giant picture of an eagle, and it said, right wing and left wing need to come together and maybe we can fly, soar high in the sky. So I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And that is what needs to happen. Like I said, leave your MAGA stuff at home, but, because it's not about that. But, if we could have an equal showing from Democrats, I would love to see arm in arm, thousands and thousands of Biden hats, arm in arm with Trump hats. And that would send a message to mainstream media that you are spinning stories ridiculously and you can't spin it here. And we are united against this. So let's see. The Porcupine News Network. As an anarchist, I can say I agree with everything you have said so far. So proud to be part of this. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Nicole Marie, thank you, Josh, for putting yourself out there and standing up for our rights. This is, Nicole, thank you. I got to say, this is one of the things I've talked to people about. I was extremely hesitant to put my name and face on something like this. The only reason I did was because I wanted to make sure that this message stayed straight and we didn't have somebody claim it and distort the views. So quite honestly, if I hadn't seen that as a possibility and something coming down the road, I wouldn't have done this. I simply did it to make sure that we stayed and maintained with a clear message. But other than that, the heavy lifting is done by all of you. So thank all of you. I am doing what I'm doing, but I'm not doing any more or less than any of you are, just to spread the word. That is all. I just put a little organization in so that we're the most effective with our word and spreading that word. So thank you. Thank you more than anything. Janae, yes, let us know. I'm not even currently living in the States. Don't let whatever is holding you back from volunteering stop you. Yeah. And I have a little message for that at the end. Let's see. John, Cody, I can spread word to all the other national leaders with the militia. We can spark it like wildfire. Yes, and make sure the word is peace. This is a peaceful assembly. That was one of my main concerns and why I started this whole thing. I saw that riots were a possibility if we didn't control it. We need to address this peacefully first, and, the states have been doing it little by little, but small voices, This is going to be a very loud voice, potentially into the 20 and 30 million range with people. So we will be heard unbelievably, and we need to make sure that what is heard is peaceful and is responsible. That is key. So thank you, John, for spreading the word. Let's see. The other thing I want to mention here, just because Chris brought this up. So Chris's comment was, we could be fined and jailed with a Class B misdemeanor. I was talking to Mark Merkel, and he's going to have me on his podcast that he does sometime early next week, and we're going to share that out to the group here. What we're going to be talking about is specifically these events and the unconstitutionality, but also one amazing thing he brought up. So there is a point. You can look at almost every state's executive orders. And one thing they say in there is you are allowed to leave your house for mental health reasons. Going and congregating with a bunch of like-minded people to express your views in a peaceful way so that it does not erupt into violence is a mental health reason. So just something to keep in mind when an officer is talking to you. Remain peaceful, remain calm, but let them know that you are actually following the executive order and you are out for mental health reasons. So Mark is going to talk more on that when we do the podcast early next week. So stay tuned for that, because he has a lot of data on this stuff. So amazing. That I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Let's see. All right. Doug Draper, will you have the time over the next week to spend time at all the pages, like 10 to 15 minutes, to garner support and show particular support for that state? Here's the problem. I am blocked on Facebook from posting anything to any groups. I have been invited to almost every single group out there. I can't even join a group myself. I have probably close to 100, if not more, groups, and most of them are large, that I would love to post and share things to. That's how we got this thing started, but Facebook is blocking all of that, so I cannot do that. Janae has had the same thing. Many people have. So if you guys out there are part of any groups, make sure you're posting this stuff. We are going to be spreading the word, because we need to make sure this is completely responsible, or at least we out majority the irresponsible at all of these things, so that we can maintain distance and keep our message straight. Let's see. Justin, state groups join the main page, and those on the main page seek out your state groups. Yes, we want to make sure this cross connects. We notice a very large discrepancy in numbers. There are thousands and thousands of people between the state pages. There's not in the main page, and some people on the main page are not yet into their state pages. So make sure you are cross-connecting on that and connecting up with both, because there's general information that we do here, and then there's more specific information that we do from the state pages. And keep your posts along the message line. Like that is a main thing. We are filtering out anything that is not on the main line message, because, like I said, we are being checked by all of these media sources, and they're picking apart. Even though I'm not the one saying it, you post something that is quote unquote conspiracy theory. They're saying, they're making that connection to try to make us look crazy. And even though that is not the message. So just keep your posts clean. We are trying to filter that out. I just had somebody say, what you guys are filtering free speech. First off, no. You can do whatever you want. You want to set up a page or a group just for memes and stuff like that. Go for it. This is not what these groups are about. These groups are about information to keep everybody safe, keep everybody up to date on what is going on. Okay? We are not interested in flooding it with memes and then you never get the message, because that is a hindrance to everybody else. So I'm not blocking your free speech, but on the other hand, read the First Amendment, because anybody who's claiming that has not read the First Amendment. It doesn't talk about one person silencing another, and this is obvious with what Facebook is doing. So they're actually violating another law that gives them immunity. Monica Squires, I can't wait for May 1st. United we stand. Absolutely. Everybody, no matter what happens, May 1st, be there. Let's see. Binky Brandt, I thought Biden was running for the Senate. Yeah, I don't think he knows what he's running for. So, yeah. I really wish, I would have loved to have seen a good, strong candidate. Biden is not, nothing against him, but he's just not a good representation. He's probably like the least socialist of anybody up there, but that's about it. Sorry about that. I put this thing on Do Not Disturb, but I'm not sure what the heck happens, why calls come through. So I need to figure that out. Jonathan White, Josh, you're a brave man putting your name and face to this movement. I can respect that dedication to your stance. The biggest reason I got behind you, and this is your ultimate push to be unbiased in this. Thank you. Yeah, and it was simple for me. And like I said, the Constitution should not be a red or blue thing. I don't understand why people are making it, like that literally is saying that, Democrats don't believe in the Constitution. I don't think most Democrats believe that. I think they do. And if they knew that that's what the leaders of their party thought of them, I think they would run like hell from that party. So Justin brings up a great point. He did a great post out there. Pen before the sword. That's where we're at right now. As I've said before, the founders of this country took quite a while trying to peacefully mend things and get things done correctly before it turned to revolution. One of my biggest fears is if it turns to revolution, we want to avoid replacing one evil monarch for another, which tends to be how revolutions go. We got one lucky shot that we didn't have that happen, but over time it has gone that way. So we want peaceful revolution, not violent, because we can change this country without violence. We absolutely can. Together we outnumber them, and we are so much more powerful than they are. Let's see. Jonathan White, sorry if I missed it. Where is the podcast going to come from? I'm going to put up a link to, you're talking the national protest one. I'm going to put up a link to that and so that everybody else can join as well a little bit later. And then everybody, hopefully 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will join Christy McLaughlin, me and a few other people doing an online protest. If you're talking about the Mark Merkel one, he has his own podcast that we are going to post on our website and our page as well, so that we can share the living heck out of that. It's going to be amazing. So he's an extremely intelligent, educated man on these issues. I want to say he said he was a constitutional lawyer, but don't quote me on that. Let's see. Jeff Hornbeck, the time for talk is way past overdue. It is. We should have had this talk with them a long time ago. Yeah, absolutely. So we need to have this talk, and we need to make it clear that this is not okay, and they need to understand that. Let's see. Chris, good night. Good night. Let's see. Les Lutz. Any clue how many in our group? In Indiana, I'm not 100% sure. I know groups are growing exponentially right now, and these connections, I think you're going to see just explosions in the numbers of groups come tomorrow, come over the weekend and the beginning part of next week. I think it's going to be incredible what we see. So, and with that, I think what's going to happen is that's when we're going to start to see the Facebook censorship, which is why we set up this deal. As the word continues to grow and get out there, we're going to be out there more. Also, I just wanted to give a shout out to I mentioned her before, Monica. She put me in touch with one of the producers over at InfoWars in order to possibly speak on there because she had previously. So, hopefully we get picked up by InfoWars and we can get able to get the word out to even more people. We'll see how that goes. Final thing here. I don't think a lot of people are this way, okay? But I think there are some people who happen to talk big, but aren't necessarily willing to walk the walk. And right now, that's what we need. We need people who are willing to talk. That is important, but we need everybody there on May 1st. So don't only share this. Don't just be a keyboard cowboy. Don't only share this stuff. Plan to be there any way you can. Anything you can rearrange. I understand if something comes up that you just can't. But do everything you can to be there, please. We need the bodies, we need the numbers there to send this message loud and clear, okay? But for all of you, I just want to play this. This is from The Patriot, one of my favorite movies, Mel Gibson. He's done a few good ones. Braveheart was another good one. But I am going to play this for y'all and have a listen here. This is one of the speeches fairly early on in the movie, and it is endearing, and please take it to heart.
Mr. Hardwick, how many times have I heard you speak of freedom at my father's table? Half the men in this church, including you, Father, and you, Reverend, are as ardent patriots as I. Will you now, when you are needed most, stop at only words? Is that the sort of men you are? I ask only that you act upon the beliefs of which you have so strongly spoken and in which you so strongly believe.
Who's with us?